Welcome to the Squeaky Wheel Farm. Hi, I'm Christine, and today I've got a big job ahead of me. I've got to harvest these potatoes that are in the greenhouse for two reasons. First of all, I've got other plans for this space. I want to put some sweet potato slips in here because I think sweet potatoes are going to do really well in this environment. It's very hot in there, even with the shade cloth and the fans on, and sweet potatoes just do better in the heat. And the second reason why I've got to get these harvested today is because I don't want them to get too big. I like my red potatoes when they're small, quarter size or $half size, so that I can throw them into some olive oil with some spices and just throw them on my Blackstone grill. They're just so delicious when they're small. While these potatoes are mostly laid over, they're not standing tall anymore. If you wanted larger potatoes, you could let them go longer. So one thing I wanted to point out before you harvest potatoes, it's always better to do it when the ground is dry. So don't harvest them right after a rain, and also don't water them the day before. You'll just have so much of an easier time. So if you haven't seen the video when I planted these potatoes, I chose to do the roof stout method, which is you just lay some seed potatoes down on the ground, not under the ground, but on the ground, and just spread some hay over it. Now I plan on taking all this hay and putting it back. So let's see what I can do as far as getting this area cleaned up. This is the size that I'm looking for. That's what I really enjoy cooking with because they're just so good. If you've never had them small, you really should try it because they are amazing. I did have some white potatoes in here as well. I just used whatever scraps I had. So this year, one of my goals is quality over quantity. Last year I had so many potatoes, way more than we could eat. I gave a lot away, but it really wasn't necessary for our little family. So this year I'm working on having some amazing food that tastes good, it's healthy. If you've ever been to the grocery store and seen these small red potatoes, noticed how expensive they are. There's a reason for that, because you are foregoing a bigger harvest. That's the perfect size. Another thing is make sure that you're very gentle with these potatoes. The skins are so delicate at this stage. But everything that I'm pulling up is right on the surface or just barely under. This potato got larger, but it does have some potato scab on it, if you can see that. It doesn't mean that it's not edible. You just peel that off, but it's not going to store well. Now, generally, red potatoes don't store well anyhow. So everything that I'm harvesting now is going to be used up probably within the week. Okay, these potatoes are on the smaller side, which is a delicacy for me. Again, I'm trying for quality over quantity this year, but I've got 3/4 of a bucket of just the potatoes that came from potato scraps and peels that were just thrown on top of the ground with some old hay on top of them, so they cost me nothing. And 3/4 of a bucket, that's probably 10 pounds or so. So I think is pretty good for no effort. Just goes to show you, you can get something for nothing. And this was done using the Ruth Stout method. I might even can some of these potatoes because at this stage, when you first pick them, the skins, well, they can rub right off. Well, that's all I have for you today. Thanks for watching. Oh, and one more thing. I hope to see you again soon. If you've enjoyed this video, watch this next.